As a rather small webtoon channel, I don't read many of them. I only read a small amount of them like Omniscient Reader, Solo Leveling, God of High School, and even Dice. But after completing Sennom, I didn't have nothing to do. But in the recommendations of webtoons, there was one webtoon in particular that caught my eye. And at first, I thought that it would be a regular boxing comic where the main character just trains and fight to become the world champion or something like that, right? I watch Hajime no Hippo, I know what I'm talking about, but this was so unexpected. The boxer in particular brings you into the deep meaning of finding your way in life, and it did it in a rather more violent way than usual. And when reading this comic, you need to really open your mind about the character, not only about the fighting, but about their experience as a boxer. And of course, just like many webtoons, you get introduced by so many characters with somewhat talent and hard training. Each and every one of them has a specific personality that you will probably be attached to it, and others you will of course despise because of their ways of doing boxing, I guess. But then you have the main character. Like I said before, talent is really mentioned in this webtoon to describe the power and physical abilities of a character. But the main one, the MC of this webtoon, puts the word talent into another level that nobody in this webtoon can reach eventually. And saying it like that make it seem like he is overpowered, but at this point the webtoon make it seem so realistic that the character isn't even really overpowered. Yes, we do see him train, but it doesn't seem like a compassion. It doesn't seem like he's putting his heart into the training like any other boxers. He's just doing what he's supposed to do, train and fight. And by doing those two simple tasks, he needs to find himself. That's what he actually wants to. He needs to find his light in what he's actually doing, because we still don't know if he enjoys boxing. But before I even go further into my experience with the boxer, almost 95% of you guys are not subscribed to this channel. So if you want more videos like this one, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter for even more webtoon content. And now, my name is Fear, and this is my complete review on The Boxer. Is it fun to hit people? At the start, we are being introduced to this character as a depressed teenager. He doesn't have any emotions, any friends, or any family whatsoever. And he gets picked on for not answering or responding to anybody, just like his seniors. In Korea, respect plays a big role, and not responding to someone who is older than you just brings shame to your name. But of course, the main character really didn't care about it. And every time someone tried to have a conversation with him, he'll just ignore it and walk away. But one day, after getting beat up by his seniors, a coach by the name of Kei spotted the teenager from his gym across the street. And while he was getting beat up, Kei was still watching, and he noticed something off about this kid. His eyes seemed so dead inside, so depressed, and so dark. But there was one thing. The main character wasn't getting beat up. He was letting himself getting beat up because he didn't feel anything about it. He just didn't care. He wanted to know how it felt to be hurt for once. And when Kei asked about it, he said, "I don't know." He continued his route to his house. But then Kei had the bright idea to give him the maximum of him. Try to caught him by surprise by giving him a big, powerful punch to the main character. Of course, the main character turned around and slowly dodges it. At this point, Kei realized that this teenager in particular has a talent, or better yet, a gift that a low amount of boxers has in this world, and that is time. Time plays a big role in the boxing game. Myself, as a kickboxer, can confirm this rhythm as a disadvantage for so many boxers, but also an advantage for other boxers. But for the main character, time goes really slow every time someone throws a jab at him, which makes him kind of a broken character. But seeing this actually puts a smile on my face, because first of all, it's boxing, and second of all, I can relate to it, which makes it a good series already. But after this little confusion, Kei explains him that he needed to see if the talent he was searching for is actually in this teenager. And yes, it is. So Kei explains to him that he doesn't need to get beat up by bullies or by any other character in particular to feel something or finding his light. He can just join his gym. But that would be a question too soon to ask to the main character. So Kei just shows him how to do a couple of jabs and leaves him. Back in the school, him and another character that goes by the name of Inji gets bullied a lot by this one teenager that goes by the name of Ryu. Ryu is also known for being a boxer, an amateur one for only 2 weeks. He was able to defeat multiple experienced boxers in a ring, not because of hard training, but because of his own talent, and that is being fast. Ryu was just fast. That's it. He was not following the rules of boxing. He didn't have any stance. He was just dodging like a wild animal and hitting in random spots like he was doing something. He always thought that he was on top of everything and everybody. But of course, this sensation and feeling that he had will change when he'll meet and bully the main character. And those type of feelings that I see in other characters or people, it's something that I really hate. Just get in front of someone and they just start smirking or just think that they're better than anyone because they have this or that. No, an object or a trait of personality that someone has doesn't make him better than anyone else. The action that someone takes can make a character better, and it all depends on the impact of this action specifically. But that's just my opinion. I know that people probably have something better than what I have right now. So with that said, Ryu finds his new victim to bully every day of the week, and that is the main character, leaving Inji alone. So with that in plan, Inji tries to train like his good old father who was a boxer back in his time, but got defeated and lost his job and career as a boxer. And now he's helping his son to become what he wants to become, a boxer, so he can protect himself. The very next day, Inji realized that the main character wasn't in class. Same goes for the bully, and that's because Ryu took the main character in the back of the school, of course, and starting beating him up with his friends, which leads up to Inji not accepting the fate of his fellow comrade. So with the little training he got with his father, he tries to take on Ryu. Of course, the fight goes really bad. Every time Ryu throws a punch, Inji just gets down. But of course, the ambition of him trying to get back to the main character is just so strong. He gets right back up and tries to fight him again. And he knows it. He just knows that he can defeat Ryu. He felt sick. He felt like he needed to apologize to Ryu when he decided to face him. But he trusted his father and tried again and again, but it just didn't work. Every time he got up, he always got down real quick. But he wouldn't let go of the dream of becoming a boxer just like his father. Hearing this and seeing this made the bullies laugh. But there was one character who didn't laugh about it. He was really pissed off of seeing his friend getting torn around by this douchebag. So the main character decided to get up and punched the crap out of all the people standing in front of him, leaving only Ryu and Inji. Ryu, seeing this, got really mad and tried to go front the main character, but he saw it. He saw the immense pressure that the main character was giving off only by standing. And this wasn't a normal pressure. This would be a pressure that a monster would give off. Even Kei felt it. He felt his spine twisting around and shaking because of the immense pressure that the main character was giving off. And it was because of his talent. A talent that boxers need to train years and years to find. The rhythm, the movements, the speed, and the footwork that can be used as an advantage when fighting another fighter. All of that in one. Something that the main character could easily do. But after feeling this type of aura coming out of the main character, Ryu tried to use all of his speed. But of course, the main character just dodges everything and destroys Ryu, which he later on wakes up in the hospital. Same goes for Inji, but for the main character, he goes straight back to the boxing gym where he can actually learn a couple of stuff or two. And of course, Kei, seeing this young man appearing again in front of him, made him so happy. But the main character only had one condition, and that is to pay the hospital bills for his man Inji and Ryu. Later on, the main character shows off his room or house to Kei, which only has one bed. The house or the room basically only has one bed, nothing less, nothing more, with a cat alongside it, but that's nothing. So with this long journey waiting for the main character, Kei ask about his name. With a vague memory of his back when he was a kid, he responds with only 2 letters, Yu, a name that will follow boxing history. And this was the little recap of the webtoon series. In my opinion, this webtoon is already top tier. I really enjoy it because it knows how to demonstrate the power between 2 fighters or just 1 fighter. In some other series like Dragon Ball, you have the scouter that just scans and gives you a number and be like, oh, he is this strong. But in this series in particular, I know they do that in other series, but that's the first time I'm seeing that in a webtoon. They show an illustration between the differences of 2 characters, which always fascinate me when they showing off Yu's power between another character. Of course, Yu's will always be so gigantic compared to another fighter, but it's probably going to change at the end of the series or by fighting basically the champions of all champions. And the characters are just so well described, it's breathtaking. And one that I have in mind is Yuto. I would love to make a video on him, just on him, because he's a good example of how hard a boxer has to really train to become one of the tops out there. And I just really enjoyed the series. I want to make a video of it every Thursday if you guys enjoy it. Don't worry, there will be some God of High School videos at the side, but now let's try to focus more on the boxer for now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe and leave a like for more videos like this one. Make sure to follow me on Twitter for even more webtoon content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.